Hey guys, welcome to /Rex Games. When it comes to arcade games, little puzzle adventures, all those kind of games, it's always fun to just jump straight into the action, press play, and there you go. But if you make in a game and you just have the room as your play, so it just automatically goes to your room, it can be confusing. The user won't know what the controls are if they can change settings. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a main menu that can direct the user to various rooms where they can fiddle around. So first we're going to need a room, and we're going to call it room menu. Alright, now GameMaker follows the order of the rooms, so make sure room menu appears at the top, so it goes into that first. Now we're going to make a group here, and I'm going to call it main menu. So I'm going to put all the sprites that go on the main menu in here. Alright, so let's go here. What we're going to do is we're going to make some cool sprites that change whenever the mouse is over them. So the user will know if his cursor is over an object and if he can click it and stuff like that. So here we go. We got a few buttons on our main menu. We'll have new game, we'll have options, and we will have exit. So it's going to have this sprite on the main menu, and as soon as the user puts his mouse over it, it's going to change to that one. And when his mouse leaves it, it's going to change back to the first one. So select that one. Alright, now here we have all the sprites in the sort of sprite array, and it's just one, so we're going to want another one there for it to switch to. So we're going to go edit. Okay, so it says in the sprite array we have image 0 as that one. Now we want to add another one to the image 1 part, and that's going to change to the one that the user has his mouse over. So file, add from strip here. Okay, now we select the other one. So the first one was the black with the red writing. So now we choose the red with the black writing, and we say open. Now here, number of images. We've just got one image. If you had more, you could change that to 2, and then images per row, height, and then each one you can split it up into little blocks, and then that'll automatically add them to your array. But we don't need that now. So there we go. Image 0 is that one. Image 1 is this one. You can show preview. You see, it'll flick between them. But we don't want them to flick between. We want it to stay on one and then change to the other depending on what's happening. So let's disable that and we say, okay, so image 0 is that one, image 1 is that. We're going to center it. Here we go, that's all good. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to rename this one to Sprite Play. Now also, it's a good idea to have a custom cursor. I've gone over this in a previous tutorial, but I'll just do it in here quickly. Let's find a cool cursor. There's one. Set it to a little thing there. Might as well crop this, make images as small as possible. Okay, sprite cursor. This is just going to make it easier to detect if the mouse is over it. Okay, sprite cursor. Don't forget to put that in the room, but we'll do that later. Okay, so we've got sprite play. Now we also need to add sprite exit. Okay, and sprite options. Okay, so sprite options. Load, select options, this one. Click open. There we go. Edit, file, add from strip. I'm going to add the other option. There we go. Just say okay. There we go. Got the 2. Alright, center that. There we go. It switches between the 2. Very nice. Okay. Sprite exit, find exit. Red on black, edit, file, add from strip, and this one. Okay. There we go. So we have the 2 different ones there. Centering it, make sure they're all centered. Perfect. Alright. So now, let's put them in our room. So we're going to make this one same resolution as the actual game. There we go, and we go options, object, sorry, and we say, oh yes, we haven't created the object yet. Can't forget that. So we've got the sprites. Now we make another group here called main menu. Objects, and we create 3 objects, one for each one of those. First one, object play. Then we've got object options. Oops. Then the last one, object exit. And we set these to those sprites. So play, options, and exit. Okay, so we've got it all set up. And we need to add our object cursor. Don't forget that. Make that -1. We want that to be on top of everything else. So the depth, if it's in the minus, it means it's on top of other things that are positive. Okay, so good. Right, and let's make some headings. It's always good to have headings. Can tell the user which page they're currently on. So let's make one for menu title. Here's game title. What do we got here? The most epic game title ever. So Sprite main title and Sprite options title. And we've got options title is very basic. It just says options. This way the user will know which page he's on, as he might freak out. Also, we're going to have a button called back, Sprite back, so they can return to the main menu if they choose. I've also done back with 2 of these, so it'll also have the effect. We pretty much want it on all of our buttons. Alright, whoops, an I there. Okay, main menu, we're going to add object back. Select sprite, object back, very good. Right, so now we're going to add it to our room menu. Now, mustn't forget to add the cursor. There it is. We're going to unselect, delete, underline, because that can mess with your mind a bit and delete things that you placed on top of other things. So, at the top we're going to have object new game, which is object play. Then we have options and exit there. Also, we need to create objects of those 2 headings. So objects title and object options title. Headings, options title. Say this one is main title. Okay, don't forget to put those in. Main title, the most epic game ever. Move all this down. Oops. Okay, center it a bit. Now if you want to center it, here's a cool thing. We're going to go to the create event of all these things, and we're going to say on create, we want to say, okay, so you've got your X and Y axis. Your X axis goes left to right, your Y axis goes up and down. So we're going to say X equals room, and now here we go, room. See the room height or room width. Now it's room width because height is on the Y, so room width divided by 2. So now it'll place that exactly in the center of the X axis, and we can just copy that and put it for all the buttons. So just copy that for now. All the create events. Whoops, just go paste. It'll put all of these in the center of the X axis, so it'll line up nicely. And this title screen, and this options. Okay, they've all got one of those. Perfect. Alright, so they'll line up all nicely. We can test that out quickly, see what happens. There we go. As you can see, the mouse hasn't been assigned to follow the mouse. We still got the title there, and these things are blinking like crazy. And we want to stop them from doing that. We want it to only blink when the mouse is over it. So, firstly, let's set this mouse to follow our mouse. So we need to create a step. You can just do jump to. And we put your mouse X and mouse Y. And we can just copy that and put it there. Okay, that solves one problem. Then also we need to go into global game settings and not display the cursor. Okay, so that's done. Now we wanted to switch between the different sprites depending if the mouse is hovering over it or not. So to do that, we're going to add a bit of code. Now, it's the same for all these buttons. So instead of writing the code 4 times or copy pasting it 4 times, that's just stupid and retarded. So we won't put it there. We are rather going to create a script, and we're going to assign the script to each one of them. Alright, so in the script, we're going to write image speed equals 0. Right? Because remember when we went here, we went to Sprite Play, we went edit, and we said show preview. It said here, speed 30. Now we change speed to 2, it'll do it slower. If we change speed to 0, it won't do anything, but we can't say 0. So we leave that to default 30, and then in the game, over here, on the script, we change it to 0. So it won't flicker, it'll stay with the sprite it's on at the moment, which in this case is the black one, the first one. Then we say, if position a meeting, there we go, and what's meeting? So we got here object cursor.x and object cursor.y. So that's the x and y of the cursor object that we've selected to follow the cursor. And what is it meeting with? Self. Okay, so the self means wherever this script is. So if the script is in the step event of play, self will get replaced with object play, for example. Alright, so if the position's meeting, we do something. And if it's not, we do something else. So if it is meeting, we change the image index to 1. Let me explain image index. This is the image index. See, number of sub-images, 2, that's the index there. That's the index 0 and 1. See, so that's at index 0, that's at number 1. So if the mouse is over it, it'll change to number 1. If it isn't, we want it to stay as image 0. Back to the script. Image index 1, else image index equals 0. So it'll stay as the black one. We don't want it to change to the red one, we want it to stay. Alright? So that's done. Pretty simple. Save. I'm going to rename this to script mouse hover, for example. So the mouse, if it's hovering over it, it'll do that. So then we go here, open each of these, and we have a step event, so it's going to keep checking to see if it's hovering, and we add script, control, here we say execute script, select script, hover. You don't need any arguments, and you say okay. Now we just copy that for each of these. There we go. Oops. There we go. Lastly. Okay. Now, if we put our mouse over it, it'll change. Let's test this out. Check that out. Okay, so we've got the title, the most epic game title ever. And then when our mouse comes over them, oh look, it changes to the other sprite. So now the user knows that his mouse is currently on options or new game or exit. That's a pretty cool feature. Right now these buttons don't do anything. What we're going to add is we're going to add the exit function, so when someone clicks here, it's going to exit the game. If someone clicks options, it's going to take you to an options screen where you can have, I don't know, edit controls, help, that kind of stuff. And new game's going to take us straight to the game. So let's go back. Okay, so options. Let's start with object options. We're going to make a new room, and we're going to call it room options. And we're going to put that second. Okay. In room options, it's going to be the same resolution. We keep a standard resolution there. We're going to take our header, options title, and put it here. Now it should have that room X. It's going to put it in the middle of X. So we just have to figure out where we want it on the Y, and it'll do the X in the middle for us. Up there's fine. Also, we need a way of getting back to the main menu. So we're going to put the back button in there. Just right there, and that's going to take us straight back to where we came from, and it'll probably also put it in the middle, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's pretty much done. Now we've got to say when we click object options, so add event, mouse, left pressed. Don't say left button. Left button means if the button is held down, anywhere. So if this was the menu and I hold down the mouse over here and then I move it over the button and I let go, that'll count as a click. We don't want that. We only want left pressed. Only if it's pressed while it's on the button. Left pressed, and we want it to go to a different room. So here we go, main 1. We say different room. Let's restart room. Different rooms here. Let's make sure it pop up. Different room. Which room do you want to go to? And we say options room. Say OK. So when we click it, it's going to take us to options. And we're also going to do some coding here for the back, object back. We can do some drag and drop here. Mouse, left pressed, main 1. And you can say previous room. But if you're going to have a whole lot of rooms here, it's going to jump up on the scale of rooms here. So if, for instance, it's here at the bottom, and you say previous room, it's going to go to room 1 and not the main menu. It's not going to go back to the room it came from. So I suggest you just use different room and then stipulate which room it has to go to. So room, back to main menu. No transition. Here you can add some effects if you want. So that'll go back to the main menu. And we go, okay, let's test this out. Okay. Click options. It says something. Add position unknown variable X, object cursor. See, we forgot to put object cursor in the options screen. That's got to be in every room. Let's try again. Okay, so there you have it. Most epic title ever. New game, options. Click options. Takes us to options menu. Here we can click back. Takes us back to the title screen. Options back. See, look at that. See how much you can click it? It'll keep jumping between the two. And then in here you can have settings that change controls, write them to any files, and the game uses all these settings that you can put up here. Or you can have help and suggestions. Okay, so now the exit button doesn't work and the new game button doesn't work. We still need to code those two. So let's leave here. Let's go to exit. Object exit, very simple. Add event, mouse, left pressed, and we can just say game exit somewhere around here. Extra, no. There we go. Game, end game. Very simple. Left pressed, ends game. Let's check it out. Very simple. You click it, and the game ends. Yeah, perfect. Now we want it to go to the play. We want it to go to the main menu, or all the action. Well, we're at the main menu. We want it to go to the main game, game room where all the action happens, where you have an objective, you the player, and such. Object play. We're going to use add event, mouse, left pressed, go to different room, select room, menu, options. Room 1 was our play menu. Might as well just rename that to room game world. So I've automatically changed that to go to room game world. So when you click object play, it's going to take us to the game world. Save that. Don't forget to save regularly. Okay. New game. Oop. There we go. We're in the game world. We have our man. He's got his gun. He's shooting around. We got our background sound blaring. Perfect. So now once the user's gone into options, he's found out how to play, he just clicks the play button and heads over to the game. So we got our scripts. Very good lesson on how to use scripts. Perfect. You just make a script, put in whichever you want it to go, and you can get multiple things to go to the same script. As long as it doesn't, it's not specific. Here it's saying object cursor, which isn't really specific because these objects don't really use object cursor. So this thing can go anywhere in any object. That is an object cursor, the same room as object cursor, which is the main menus. So that's pretty perfect. Yep, that's everything with main menus. So use this method of changing. It's a very good way to tell the user what is going on, where his cursor is, what it's doing, is it hovering over an object and such. Well, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more.